So sorry, viewers, but I think I figured out what was wrong with my video camera. It just cut off, so I apologize again, but we're going to have two parts. So because it did that, that's not what I wanted or what I intended, but that's just what's going to happen. Okay, and hopefully I fixed it. Okay, so let's continue here with the Scorpio South Node, Taurus North Node. Due to the intense emotion constantly seeking expression, a variety of creative outlets are needed. Sexual desire must be transmuted into divine love. All embittering conditions from past incarnations must be dropped from the consciousness until the new seed of peace is discovered. The Scorpio South Node must burn the bridges of the past and resolve to benefit from the lessons of Lot's wife, never to look back. Through the Taurus North Node, you must learn not to dissipate or waste in valueless areas all the power that flows through you. Your greatest achievements in this life occur when, through the development of a great love for the earth you live on, you start to appreciate glimpses of the source of this unfailing supply and support. For lifetimes, you have misused your energy, your drives, and your desires, feeling yourself alone against all the oppressions and afflictions that affect mankind. Now, through the sensitive impressions of your Taurus North Node, you are to be brought to the awareness that the abundance in the universe is so great that you will always have what you need when you need it. I just love that. It's so true. Again, you must learn to distinguish the difference between the words want and need. For although you may not always be able to realize what you want, you are at every moment surrounded by all you need. As you reach for your Taurus North Node, you are reaching at last for stability. Oh, that is so true. It is so true. It's inner stability, inner self-worth that no one can take away. No one. Oh, it's you have to experience it. Words cannot express. You can stop chasing all that you have ever felt cheated of by seeing all that is now offered to you. Ultimately, you are destined in this life to reach a state of contentment as the seething volcanoes of Scorpio melt into the blue spirit waters of harmony in Taurus, where the beloved Gautama Buddha left his blessing. Truly, this is a transition from lifetimes of war into a garden of peace. Yeah. The house position of the South Node indicates the area in life where any remaining residue of the scorpionic battles must be conquered, while the house position of the North Node shows the area in life where the new awareness of trust and security can ultimately replace the underlying struggles. Okay, that's the end of the Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node. Okay, and what I promised really quick before I go on to the house positioning, I promised I would read for all of us, if you have a conjunction, which a planet that is right next to your South Node. in the same sign, in the same house, of course. That's what a conjunction is. Okay, this is what it says about that. Karmic lessons taking more than one lifetime to learn show up with strong planetary conjunctions to the South Node. The addition of such planetary energies to the soul's remembrance of its purpose creates a mandatory condition wherein the South Node lessons are to be lived again. And like I was saying earlier, I have Neptune in Scorpio in the 8th house conjuncting my South Node in the 8th house in Scorpio. So, and then when I was reading, if you remember, the South Node in Scorpio, it also says that you're going to be forced to live through that in this life. So I had it doubly. And those of you that have the South Node in Scorpio plus another planet conjuncting your Scorpio South Node, you're going to have it doubly as well. So again, that's why I just wanted to read that, and then just there's a little, one more paragraph. This configuration should not necessarily be deemed a negative condition. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Individuals who have acquired a great deal of knowledge or talent are thusly afforded a second chance at bringing their accomplishments to a flowering culmination. That's why. It's an extra boost. Yes, it's extra difficult and hellish while you're going through it, but it does enable us to have more of a chance. And I definitely can see that now, especially since I'm through it and looking back, to go through those and bring those things out to our conscious awareness so we can take care of them. Absolutely take care of them. So once and for all. So that's very, very good. And then for those of you who have the conjunction to your North Node, let me read that. Planetary conjunctions to the North Node urge the individual to leave this past behind. Instead, you will experience a new karmic lesson in the current life. During your younger years, you tend to misuse your North Node until you're able to discover its latent potential. Occasionally, you try to fall back on your South Node, but each time you do, you find circumstances which are so unbearable, intolerable, that you again choose to reevaluate your North Node possibilities. Ultimately, you realize that you are being subliminally pressured to step forward into a uniquely new experience. Okay, and now saying actually both of those conjunctions to the North and or the South Node that I just read, to me, you have to first consciously bring out your North and South Nodes before you stop the cycling of that. So again, okay, so now my second viewer asked for me to read North Node in the 2nd house, South Node in the 8th, which again I am very well aware of, because that's mine as well. So I will do my best, though, again, to not talk so long. When I have stuff come to my mind, though, I need to say it. It's that important, especially since these are my nodes and I'm experienced in this, and I have factual and emotional experience with these things. Okay. 2nd house North Node, 8th house South Node. The individual with these nodes spends a good amount of their current life energies on the darker side of life. From past incarnations, you have secrets which you now spend most of your time guarding carefully. Meaning, the secrets, and they don't even have to be big and bad or anything, but it's subconscious stuff. It's stuff that has to be brought out into your conscious awareness so that you don't keep cycling that and it blocking you. Your greatest difficulty is in attempting to lead a life which is beyond reproach, for your lower self is powerfully strong. You desire light, but with every step you take towards it, the aching of your guilt-ridden subconscious blocks the road. Very, very true. So you're going to have, those of us that have a second house north node, 8th house south node, we're going to automatically have guilt programmed into us at birth. And that's just confirming that. Okay. You have had much prior life experience behind closed doors where the eyes of open society failed to look. You are even accustomed to creating deceitful circumstances where there were none before. Again, that's similar to the Scorpio South Node that when I was talking about scapegoat and you're going to push, try and find someone that you can push your stuff on so that you don't have to deal with it. Here it is again. So again, I would say to any of us, any of you that have this same house sign, North and South Node, to look into narcissist and then look into scapegoat, because you're going to automatically be looking for a scapegoat to push this on, because the guilt comes from feeling that you're sinful, that you're bad. And I even remember consciously just feeling bad and guilty and fearful and shameful, but I didn't know where it was coming from. It was just a general blanketed over me, cloud over me. And no doubt you're going to be, many of you, all of you are going to be feeling those similar things, if not exactly those things, but you're not going to be able to pinpoint where it's coming from. And it has to do with programming. It has to do with the past. It has to do with your ancestry, familial, but it's all in your subconscious. It's all past programming that you were born with. You came into this life with that intact when you were born. And so it's not your fault. No one is to blame. You're not to blame, and no one else is either. And you're not sinful. Sin was man-made, is man-made, and it has to do with the laws that man set up. That is different from, we have two different laws here, universal law and man-made law. Universal law is completely different, and universal law takes into consideration who we truly are and what we're here for and all of that, including astrology and everything, the energies coming to us astrologically at birth. Man-made laws, they don't. In fact, they naturally make us feel guilty, make us feel shameful, so that we stay enslaved and we never ever even, that we're less likely to even take a look at and be able to deal with our personal work so that we can advance. Okay, enough said about that. Okay, so, okay. Actually, you are testing the limits of other people's values, and while many may know you closely, none will know you well. Inside, you are highly nervous for fear of others unlocking your secret doors, for well you know that you are undermining nearly everything you touch. Yet, you have the self-assuredness to believe that all will go well no matter where your sometimes immoral adventures continue to lead you. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Because you, and it's saying because this individual, which is you, have not yet established your own sense of values, you try desperately to study the values of others. And in so doing, you inadvertently push others off their track and therefore can be a threat to all that others hold near and dear. In former incarnations, you destroyed much of your own value systems. So now you find it difficult to understand why others cherish the things they do. You don't have your own stake in this life, so with nothing to lose, you feel free to claim jump the stakes of others. Usually this is accomplished in such subtle fashion that it's extremely difficult to recognize. There is also strong past life residue of sexual misuse. You have learned to think of your sexuality as your strength, using it as foothold to gain possession of others. In the female, this is the story of Delilah or Matahari, whose unusual sexual powers lured the strongest of men from their appointed missions. And yes, I learned all about that. I went through all about that, and I did that. I did that. And I want to say right here, anyone that has their south node in the 8th house or the 7th house must go through this experience with a partner, because it has everything to do with the partner. Just like this, any of us females that have a south node in the 8th house, we are going to misuse our partner. We are going to use our sexuality and abuse our sexuality and use it against our partner in many different ways, and to bring him down, And how does a woman bring their own man down? What is the most cruelest way a woman can do that? Going in, either having sex with someone other than who she is with, or saying she did, lying about it, getting him to believe that. Okay. In the male, much of the life energy is dissipated on sexual thoughts. He doesn't use it for power in the same sense as a female, but it is for him the reassurance that all is going well with his ego. So what that's saying for all of you males, well, you're going to be having a lot of sex, and you're going to be using that as a what is that? Just a second. What's that saying? A notch in your belt. So seeing however many women that you can go and have sex with, and just sex, not anything else, that is what it feels like for you is going to make you increase your self-worth. And of course that's not true. And for the woman, when we use our sexuality against our man, our own man, that's in rage, that's in revenge, that is in getting even. And that is all scorpionic, lower scorpionic, south nodal ways. Because again, we come in with that rage, with that rage, and feeling like we need to get even with somebody's hurt us, and so we've got to get even, and we're gonna, by God, we're gonna make that person pay. We didn't get, nothing happened, but this is, again, it's memory from the past, and it's coming up so that we can take care of it. And so, yes, I went through all of that, and I got to see how that hurts the male, how that hurts me, and how that hurts every woman that misuses her sexuality. It absolutely, first and foremost, it destroys our own self-worth. The interesting thing is that sex is never the end, but always the means. In the give and take barter system, sexual allure or responsiveness becomes the payment in exchange for another's values. And that doesn't work either. You can't trade sex for and expect to gain somebody else's values. That it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. But again, we try. Individuals with these nodes become jealous easily. Constantly they wish to trade places with whoever seems to have a greener backyard. And all too often, they feel that sex is a fair price to pay for all the honors they may eventually receive. From past incarnations, this individual feels shunned by society. Now, on the outskirts of acceptance, you are like a little lost child in the winter snow, peeking into the window of a brightly lit cabin with the hope that somebody will come and let you in out of the night. You are less than discriminating, for you desire such an immediate release from your current pain that it hardly matters to you whether you are jumping from the frying pan into the fire. And I've definitely done that too. I've done everything it says, experienced everything it says, and you will be experiencing everything, and you will be able to take care of it though. Now, once you hear this, you will be able to take care of it too and free yourself. You turn to wherever solace is available, for your loyalties have not yet reached the state of evolution that they may be considered totally trustworthy. In your current life childhood, you experience fear of death, almost as if death itself would be the logical punishment for all your misdeeds in past incarnations. You keep feeling that you have to fight for the things you need, for you have no sense of having yet earned them. When you fall short of reaching the brighter side of life, you secretly blame others for your misfortunes. In a few rare cases, this individual must overcome past life criminal tendencies or residue of witchcraft. Only through proper assessment of your second house north node can you establish the substance that will lead to a new rebirth. Here the memory of past lives has to be brought to the surface and then eliminated completely in this 8th house of death before the soul can progress into a new set of values. The individual must learn to develop and build that which is sincerely meaningful to them, to you. So you have to build something that's sincerely meaningful to you. Understanding clearly that which is dishonorably obtained is highly difficult to preserve. And that is said because the 8th house is the house of others' resources. And so there's going to be stealing going on. You're going to try to steal. So the female, of course, is going to try and trade her sex with her man's values, that man's values, so that she can live that way. But you can't. You can't do it that way. And the male is going to steal in a little bit different way. And I'm not sure you males out there that have this south node, you're going to know what this means. But since I'm a female, I know the female side of it. Okay. Okay, so, okay, yes. You cannot expect to grow through other people's efforts, for if you wish to cross the bridge, you must pay the toll out of your own pocket. As soon as you grow to this realization, the lighted cabin door swings open for you, not through the goodness of others, but because you have earned it. Working through this, seeing where and how and which situations and experiences that you have done these things. That's the only way to do it that I know of. That's what I had to do, step by step. And then the guilt, the shame, all of that, the anger, it all goes away. Facts change feelings. Bringing this out into your conscious awareness. The sign which contains the South Node indicates the ways in which former incarnations have brought the individual to be too preoccupied with the business of others. The sign which contains the North Node shows the ways in which you can now build a substantially new and meaningful life for yourself by establishing your own value systems. And one of the things that I was told while I was working through this with the man that I have worked through this with, again, because you have to have a partner to work through it with. And luckily, I was so fortunate in getting a gentleman that knew consciously. He had already been studying astrology. He knew that the north and south nodes of the moon and that how important and essential that was. He already knew that he had to have somebody else to work through this with because he had the other end of it. He was the scapegoat. And so what he said to me, one of the first things he said to me, one of the first, was keep my word. Keep my word. Value. Build your own value system. So, and keeping your word, there you go. And of course, you know, that took years for me. It took years to go through all of this for myself. Because also, not just do I have this South Node, but I have 5 planets in Pisces in the 12th house, or actually 4 planets in Pisces, 1 in Aries, but they're all in my 12th house. So, which is the subconscious. So I had even more fear of even reading this stuff. It was remarkable. But anyway, so, okay, so there, that's the end of the house also. And so I will put these 2 videos out as soon as I possibly can, and I will have a link to this second part in the drop-down box below in the first part. And obviously some of you aren't going to know this until you're listening to this, and you'll be listening to the second part, but I will also put that in the title. Okay, so I think that's all. That's all to be said for right now. And again, thank you, second viewer, for asking me to read these two nodes. So, and good luck to you. And if you or any of you that are listening want me to send you the written, I will just take pictures of each page to send the written and to your email. So you'd have to send me your email address and let me know what you're sending your email address for. And I would be happy to. Because again, this is something, the nodes of the moon, this is something you can't just read once. You can't just listen to once. You've got to do it over and over again. Again, repetition. And our brains work at least 9 times, but it's way more than 9 times for this stuff. At least it was for me. It was way more. So, okay. So congratulations on your personal journey and keep going. All right.